went to grade school at many different schools. My first one was St. Patrick's Academy. Then I went to St. Lucy's. Then I went to Our Lady of Mount Carmel. And then I graduated from Our Lady of Perpetual Help. And I went to high school for 4 years at Marywood Academy. And let me see, I must have started first grade when I was, let's see, in 1934. Many years ago. And my family was religious. Both my mother and father were Catholic. And we didn't have any diverse teachings. The teachings were all biblical. We definitely believed the Bible, and when I was very little, I definitely believed in Adam and Eve, and I believed that there was Satan in the apple. As I grew older, I wasn't so sure about that anymore. But I still do believe, I think evolution has a lot going for it, and I certainly think things have evolved. But I definitely think there had to be some deity or something that put the first seed on earth to evolve into the wonderful creatures we now know as man. Excuse me, woman. Were there any rules at school? I don't think there was any rules. We were never told any rules, and I'm not even sure that evolution, even though I think the theory had been propounded, I don't think it was widely believed or taught in any schools. Do you think the science curriculum has changed since the scopes? Oh, definitely. It has changed since the Scopes monkey trials. It was a tremendous influence on the thinking of the day, of the future, of the still future. But I still think there had to be, and I do believe that man did evolve from monkeys. But somebody had to put that first seed there, and that is what I believe.
Hi, my name is Jim. I went to St. Francis Xavier School in Wilmette for grade school. My family was religious. My mother was religious, and she made us go to church every day, at least when we were in grade school. And of course, there were a bunch of nuns that taught us. We really didn't have any history subjects or science subjects about the beginning of man. And of course, it was a Catholic school, so we did have religion that taught about the creation theory. so that was pretty much what we were exposed to in grade school. By the time we went to high school, and I went to Loyola Academy, they did have science and history courses about the different theories, about the creation of man. Of course, we still had the religion background, which is creationism. So we got, more information about, all the theories when I was there. I still go to church, and my religious beliefs influence what I think about the beginning of the universe, and not necessarily the beginning of man, but I believe it all had to start somewhere. And there was some force or some influence about how everything began, and that was probably billions and billions of years before man came around. In terms of any rules at my school about teaching the religious belief of evolution, we really didn't get that, but in grade school we only got that side of the story. We didn't get, we were young and probably couldn't understand. We were a lot dumber back then, so we probably couldn't understand, the Darwin's theory of evolution. I think, when the Scopes trial came along, that really brought out, threw everything on the table, and that was probably the first time that many people in this country realized that there were alternative theories of evolution. My personal belief is that I think both theories can live together. Man probably evolved. I think Adam and Eve are more of a parable. We can learn from that, certain things, but it doesn't necessarily mean that there was a guy named Adam and a guy named Eve. But like I said, it had to start somewhere.
Hello. I went to St. Francis Xavier Grade School and Regina Dominican High School. I was at St. Francis from 1966 to 1974, and at Regina from 74 to 78. Growing up, my family was very religious. We were church every Sunday, fasting on Fridays, and observing all the church laws and doctrines. I also went to a Jesuit university, so I've had a lot of religion in my life, and I was taught, the Bible from my since first grade, where they teach the beginning of man and everything like that. And as the years progressed, the more deeper the stories got as I grew. I do believe in God, so obviously I believe in the beginning of man, the way it's spoken in the Bible. I also believe in evolution, and I've studied science extensively, and I think there's a big break between faith and science. The two can live together in me, in my heart and brain, and we get along fine. Going to Catholic high school and grade school and Jesuit university, religion was always an everyday class, never, once a week or whatever. And in college, when I took science, yes, they were allowed to teach evolution. I don't know that the science curriculum has changed that much since the Scopes monkey trial. I think it's a personal opinion. If you wanted to, it should be out there for everybody. Just because I'm Catholic doesn't mean that my neighbor has to be Catholic or have my same beliefs. So if my children decided not to believe in God anymore, or participate in a different religion, I'd be fine with that. But they do have the basis of faith, and it doesn't really matter. Logically, I know that, I believe in science, but my faith tells me there is something beyond physical science.
I'm John Round, and I went to Walker Grade School, Skiles Middle School, and Evanston High School. My family was not particularly religious, although my parents had both gone to Catholic schools from grade school through college. I don't really remember much about creationism or any... Okay, let's stop. I don't remember much being taught about the beginning of man, creationism, or anything else on the topic. Sorry. My religious beliefs do not influence my thoughts on the beginning of man. I'm a man of science. Since I went to a public school, we were taught the scientific method, and therefore we saw the evolution of man as the proper teaching on the subject. And I'm not sure how much more the science curriculum has changed since the Scopes monkey trial, but I believe that's all I was ever taught, and that's okay.
Okay, I go to New Trier High School. I'm a junior, and my family is Christian, and I've been Christian all my life. We go to Winnetka Covenant Church. In Sunday school, when I was little, we were taught about Adam and Eve, but I believe that God created everything at first, and an evolution took place and created us today. And at New Trier, there's rules against teaching about religion, but I think we're allowed to learn about evolution. And since the Scopes monkey trial, the science curriculum has changed that we can learn about evolution, but we still can't learn about religion.
Do I say my name?
Yeah.
My name is Megan Papano. I went to St. Francis Xavier Grade School. It's a Catholic grade school in Wilmette. And I go to Loyola Academy. It's a Jesuit school in Wilmette. That's my family. My family is religious. We go to church sometimes, but we're not that strict. We don't go every week, but we go for the major holidays like Easter, Christmas, stuff like that. What do you remember? I was taught about Adam and Eve like in first grade, but then once I got older, we learned about evolution and science in grade school. Do I say my name?
Yeah.
My name is Megan Papano. I went to St. Francis Xavier Grade School. It's a Catholic grade school in Wilmette. And I go to Loyola Academy. It's a Jesuit school in Wilmette. That's my family. My family is religious. We go to church sometimes, but we're not that strict. We don't go every week, but we go for the major holidays like Easter, Christmas, stuff like that. What do you remember? I was taught about Adam and Eve in first grade, but then once I got older, we learned about evolution and science in grade school.